Scarpins Avenue.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sklar Country, the virus edition, aka the Pandy Pods.
AKA two fine fellows, no soul bellows, AKA one salmon Couchy, two fans of Fauci.
AKA in the midst of this crappy girth fray of spars, I'll pause to wish happy birthday to the Sklars. Huddletron.
Thanks, buddy. That
AKA
was
Old Zealand.
Now that's old news because we're so far out ahead.
We're so far past it, but hey, that's how we're recording this. Again, we spoke about this yesterday. I don't want to belabor the point, but we're trying our best to get you guys out content every day, which means we're not going to be right up on the news, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe you just need this
as a break from the world. Look, we don't know what fresh hell happened on Inauguration Day.
We don't, or afterwards, or the impeachment trial, or any of it. We don't know. But here's what we do know is that we got stories. We're going to bring them to you, and hopefully we can make you laugh or smile just for a brief moment. This world is going to get better. We're going to make it happen. Let's do it together. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Now, we said this so many times on the show. We've learned a lot through this pandemic about our world.
Yes.
You know, I was thinking about it, just the breath that our world took as far as people, especially to stay at home, and for how much Americans stayed at home, was good for the world.
Good for the environment.
Good for the environment. Good for animals. Allowed animals to get out there and feel themselves a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's good, but I don't trust animals. They're animals, okay?
Yeah.
You let a bunch of flamingos hang out in Mumbai or elephants just trample through a town. That's great.
But we got squirrels attacking people in Queens.
Yes, we do. Bears shoplifting bags of chips in Lake Tahoe. It's happening from convenience
I feel
stores.
like 2020 was the year that nature clapped back at humans.
The year that nature clapped back, 2020. And I mean, it had to feel good for animals. Animals who have been hunted by humans for a long time.
Squirrels, bears, raccoons.
Everybody, all the ancillary characters of any season of Alone.
Yeah.
Rabbits.
Yeah.
Unless you're that weird old guy who feeds cereal to the raccoons on his porch. You saw this on the deck?
Where they crawl all over him?
Yeah.
It's the freakiest.
They're the fattest raccoons I've ever... Like, each raccoon is like a sister on my 600-pound life.
Yeah.
600-pound sisters.
I didn't know it was
1,000-pound sisters.
1,000-pound sisters.
They are the fattest, most unhealthy raccoons I've ever seen. They don't look happy.
They should call that show not My 600-Pound Life, my short 600-pound life.
That's right.
That's what it's going to be.
They don't look happy, okay? No matter how much they're eating. I don't even know if I'm talking...
Also, they're...
Am I talking about 600-pound life, or am I talking about the raccoons?
They're wild, rabid creatures. Again, are we talking about the raccoons, or are we talking about My 600-Pound Life?
They will bite your fingers off if you don't give them enough marshmallows from the Frankenberry box.
Are we talking about the raccoons, or
are we talking about My 600-Pound Life? I just look at that guy feeding those fat raccoons on his back deck and think to myself, he's probably got a daughter that he doesn't have a great relationship with.
He's definitely missed one of her birthdays in the last 5 years, but he never forgot to bring that cereal out.
Yeah.
He's got his priorities straight.
Listen, maybe these fat raccoons don't rise up against it, okay?
Maybe this is smart.
Maybe his ability to control the raccoons makes this guy, in this moment right now,
the king of all of us.
Our leader. Okay? The de facto president of the world, because he can control the raccoons with Crunchberry Twist.
None of us know anything in these anarchy, these times of anarchy.
We don't. All I'm saying is that these animals are animals. Yes. So you cannot... The one thing you can't know is how these animals are going to behave.
So Siegfried died today, and when we're recording this, or yesterday, and that guy knew everything about tigers. He was around tigers all the time. They still attacked. Was it him or Roy?
I think it was Roy.
Either way.
Whatever. They attacked both of their... they attacked the security that both of them believed in.
Right.
That we can handle these animals.
We got it.
The white tigers, they know what they're doing. They know that... No. They are wild animals and they can get you. And as much as he thinks they're his friends, they're going to turn on him at one point. They're going to get so hungry. They're going to feel themselves.
They're going to have their own insurrection. That's what small pets are going to do.
Beware the weird pets that have a rising up, a small animal insurrection.
Yes, it's going to happen.
As our buddy, the amazing and hilarious Paul F. Tompkins, if you're not following him on Instagram, on Twitter, go into his shows.
Super killer.
He's one of our favorite people in the world. He famously said in one of the great stand-up bits that he ever did, about a guy, like he said,
Was it a ferret or a parrot?
I don't know. He said maybe your parrot or your ferret doesn't need to go with you to the post office and run your stupid errands.
Maybe the ferret doesn't want to go to the bank with you.
That's right.
What he
Did you ever think about that when you were manufacturing this personality of weird out there craziness? I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he was saying. Oh, your personality isn't manufactured at all.
Right.
With a parrot on your shoulder. All right.
Quote Paul F. Tompkins.
And this is where we find ourselves in today's story. Here we go. Ready for this? I don't think you are. A bandana wearing iguana, so I guess it was Bret Michaels' iguana,
Folks.
reportedly jumped over a home fence and attacked a man in Miami recently.
Of course, this happened in Florida.
I didn't know iguanas could jump fences. Did you know that?
How high was this fence?
Is it a show jumping iguana? Is that a thing?
Was it Method Man high?
I don't know. Why a bandana? Why was the iguana wearing a mask? And I'm assuming the owner was.
Oh, it definitely wasn't.
So an iguana in a bandana. It sounds like the best limerick ever. An iguana in a bandana hopped a fence and attacked its neighbor. Then, as if it couldn't get any weirder, Jay,
It's already weird.
apparently a woman in medical scrubs came looking for it.
Did she own it? Was she operating on it?
So many goddamn questions. This raises so many questions.
Is she a frontline worker? Do we have to respect her?
Is she a doctor? Is she an animal doctor?
Or does she just wear scrubs? There was a time in our lives where college kids wore
Or
scrubs.
scrubs on the reg because they were actually more comfortable
Than sweatpants.
Thank you. Yes, this is strange. Oh, this strange Miami moment apparently happened, and Miami-raised journalist Ariela Castillo, who now works for the U.S. content producer for Manchester City Football Club. So she
used to work for Miami papers?
now she's in Manchester City FC. I don't
Content,
understand
why?
who this person is, but she's reporting on it, Jay.
Okay, good. Thank God.
There are even more questions. Like, I don't know what's weirder, an iguana in a bandana or a woman from Miami who's a reporter but now works for Manchester City Football Club who's reporting on this. Quote, I just got a call from one of my two social pod friends, so there's someone who they're in pod with
they're connected
in Miami, that they were attacked. So one of her friends was attacked by a giant iguana. Okay, so now I understand why.
Wearing a bandana.
Right. That ran away when it was called by a woman next door in medical scrubs, she wrote Thursday. Okay, there is so much more to unpack right now, Jeff.
So wait, the iguana responds to its name?
Number one, the journalist knows the person who was attacked. How great is that?
Yes.
Number two, how much do you wish it was Will Greenlee?
Oh.
So that he could explain to you what a bandana was.
Yes.
And then, no, it's this woman. All right. So the journalist's social pod friend got attacked. They posted it. And what's weirder is that a woman in scrubs, like you said, Jay,
Called it out and then it responded and it left. Like she called the attack. Like she could
the
have.
iguana knows his name or her name.
Can you train an iguana? I can't believe this
Is that a
happens.
movie? How to Train Your Iguana? Can you not take?
It's allowing itself to have a bandana around its neck.
Yeah.
It's learned its name. It's attacking its neighbor. It comes when it calls.
This is all news to us.
This should be the whole story.
I thought iguanas were just to start conversations at parks.
Yeah, why is that iguana on a leash?
know.
That's so weird.
Castillo, who previously worked at Fusion.
Can I pet it?
Do you want to hear more about Castillo's career? She now works for Manchester City FC, who previously worked at Fusion. Why are we giving all of her credits here, Jay? In Miami, New Times.
She's trying to make herself the story. Meanwhile, there's so much more in this story that has nothing
we don't
to do
care
with it.
about where you worked, Castillo. Said it happened in a neighborhood near the International Links Mel Reese Country Club close to Miami International Airport. All right,
Why is that important?
We're going to take a break.
We're going to tell you why that's important.
Everything in this story, every detail that we're getting is creating more questions, and we'll have more of those questions right after the break.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. As we mention every day, we're going to keep mentioning it. You don't want to get shut out of this show.
Amazing.
Live Dumb People Town, February 27th. That's a Saturday night. Jack Black, Open Mike Eagle. It's going to be an epic night of comedy.
Eventbrite.com. Get your tickets. Live Dumb People Time. They're going to sell out. So do it now.
It's so much fun.
We had so much fun at Zach Galifianakis a couple weeks ago. This is going to be a blast. So please get your tickets.
Jump on that, please.
Jump on board. Follow us on YouTube, our YouTube page, Sklar Bro Country. On Facebook, we're at Sklar Brothers. And then on all the platforms, TikTok, we're at Sklar Brothers, Twitter, and
Instagram.
Please do that. All right, when we left, we had the reporter
who mentioned that this happened
near the Miami International. Why is that the fact that it was close to the Miami airport important? Is she the type of journalist, Jay, that only weird details that have nothing to do with the story?
It happened on a Thursday, so what? So what? That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it was near the airport unless immediately the woman with scrubs walked onto a runway and flew away.
Okay.
With the thing.
Are people going to read this story? This is my question, Jay. See, it raises more questions. And say, I can't believe this person was attacked by her neighbor's iguana. And so close to the Miami airport?
And on a Thursday, this is so bizarre.
Maybe the plane activity caused the bandana wearing house pet to go crazy.
How could they hear each other as the planes flew over?
I bet the iguana knows the flight schedule of most United and American flights that go in and out of Miami International Airport.
Yeah.
Heard a United flight taking off like an hour after it should have been taking off, and it went crazy.
Went nuts.
Started attacking the neighbors until it heard from its owner, who was in scrubs for some reason.
Not a doctor, not a nurse, but for some reason in scrubs.
And she called it back home. The iguana came from her friend's next door neighbor's back room and leapt over the fences. Not just one fence.
Fences.
This is a show jumping.
That's terrifying to see like an iguana flying from the sky and then attacking.
It should scare us all. QAnon is worried about the lizard people, Jay.
Now,
I'm now worried about fence jumping iguanas. Iguana run-ins aren't strange in South Florida, though they normally run away from humans. The weird part is Castillo's friend says the animal was wearing a red bandana like a neckerchief. Iguana run-ins aren't strange in South Florida. That may be the most troubling thing that I've heard in this whole...
They should be strange. Although,
even if they happen a lot, Jay.
It's still strange.
Yeah, you did. I wouldn't say strange. I would say they're not uncommon.
Mm-hmm.
It's still crazy.
It happens.
It happens a lot, but it's crazy every time it happens. I saw an iguana at Trader Joe's. Typical South Florida run-in. I mean, it's just these things happen all the time. Here's the question. Was the Trader Joe's near the airport? You got to ask that question.
No, it was not.
Then what's the big deal?
I don't know.
So the So Miami story naturally got people talking in the comments. And if there's one thing we can't wait to read, Jay,
it's dumb people's comments on a dumb story.
There you go. It's like getting advice from your weird uncle at Thanksgiving, Jay.
You're like, yeah, tell me about.
Yeah, always put 40% of my mail, send that to a P.O. box so they never know where you really are. Thanks, Uncle Joey.
But why should I do that? It doesn't make sense. It's almost like Greg Warren's bit in The Viking. Yeah, you keep wanting him to keep telling you.
Oh, you got to put 40% in the P.O. box. You get 60% in your own home, and then burn 30% of that 60%.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense.
Because you gotta burn it, and you burn it for warmth.
Oh.
It's stories like this, nature, like that nature, that very small part of me.
That nurture that very small part.
That nurture that very small part of that thinks Florida is really just made up of Fantasyland, a deception that everyone is in on but me. Truman Burbank style, said one commenter. Truman Burbank, is that a thing? That's
a drag name of someone who looks like Truman Capote. Maybe wears the hat.
Or the robe that Truman Capote wore, and slippers with his initials on it in the Studio 54.
That's a drag queen who's not even trying to look like a woman.
Just Truman Capote at the Burbank airport.
Yeah.
Another Twitter user wants us to know if the critter was wearing a holiday bandana or if it was part of an iguana street gang. I don't even think that's a joke, Jay.
I think that could be a straight up real question.
Right? I'm going to assume that people think...
Is it a blood or a crip iguana? Listen, I don't know.
I think people think that there are legit street gangs of iguanas just hopping fences and terrorizing people.
He was a blood, even though he did kind of crip walk out of there.
How does an iguana attack a human? A guy named Drew asked. Maybe answer the question, how does an iguana jump a fence? And then we can start talking about
Pretty easy. Lands on its face and starts like scratching and biting.
Castillo thinks it was a runaway pet, and her friend just happened to be there when the iguana leapt out of the bushes of the yard next door. Unfortunately, Castillo said her guinguito buddy doesn't speak Spanish, so no one knows what the woman in the medical scrubs yelled out. There are so many mysteries here, Jay.
This does feel like a deleted scene from Twin Peaks.
Thank you.
Right?
Twin Peaks, Florida. I mean, you could do that. I will never know the details. This will just torment me, she said. Will it torment you, Castillo? While the strange Florida tale leaves more questions than answers, that's what we said.
Yes.
The commenter named Jonathan said, glad the iguana was wearing a face covering, and that's what we said. Better than the governor of Florida, right?
For real.
How is that possible? I bet that fatso Ron DeSantis couldn't hop a fence.
No way.
Do you think he could?
I'm more impressed with the iguana. He should be the
And I'll say this about him. He certainly doesn't, DeSantis, listen to anyone in medical scrubs when they give him advice.
Facts.
I think that the iguana should be the governor of Florida.
Thank you.
Don't you?
Agreed.
Can't be worse than it already is.
No.
The Twitter user continued, but it should have also been following socially distanced guidelines. And that's the truth. If you're going to wear the bandana, you might as well go all the way.
Facts.
And then I just want to read this because at the bottom of the article I read there was a link to another story about South Florida. We'll end on this, and it's always funny. It was a tease that we call in the business. Just have to read it before we go because, well, Florida and nature.
Yes.
You ready for this?
Yes.
This is all it said. A University of Florida administrator recorded the most Florida video ever. It has 2 snakes and a wasp.
2 snakes and a wasp is like 2 turntables and a microphone.
That's it. That's the Beck version. I got 2 snakes and a wasp. All right, and the wasp was just a white person with really
White Anglo-Saxon Protestant
with really repressed emotions. All right, that is your show, guy. That is how we do it. Stay connected, stay protected. Don't get infected.
This is not a hoax.
But we got the jokes. Wear a mask, everybody. We're gonna get through this. We'll see you tomorrow.
La-ti-da, la-ti-da-ti-da-ti-da, la-ti-da.